In the early 19th century, Prussian general and military theorist Karl von Clausewitz observed that conquerors often prefer peace, not out of goodwill, but because peaceful takeovers are easier and less risky than military campaigns. This insight remains relevant today but was largely overlooked in Europe after Russia began its aggression against Ukraine in 2014. Despite Russia's claims of peaceful intentions, many European leaders believed that Moscow could be reasoned with. They assumed that negotiations could curb Russian ambitions, ignoring the reality that President Vladimir Putin simply preferred a nonviolent takeover of Ukraine. The annexation of Crimea and the covert invasion of eastern Ukraine in 2014 were not launched for the sake of war, but as part of a strategy to subdue Ukraine with minimal direct conflict. For years, Russia relied on hybrid warfare, using local proxies, disinformation, and covert operations to destabilize Ukraine. But since 2022, and especially over the past 3 years, this has escalated into a full-scale invasion. War has become central to the Kremlin's survival strategy, bolstering its authoritarian rule with nationalism, militarization, and suppression of dissent. Today, most European leaders have abandoned earlier illusions about Russia's intentions. In contrast, the United States, under the new Trump administration since January 2025, has taken a dangerously naive and inconsistent approach to the conflict. In just 4 months, Washington's policy has shown political inexperience, moral indifference, and ineffective diplomacy. There is growing concern that some within the U.S. administration not only underestimate Putin but sympathize with him. Diplomatic efforts have so far produced little. A recent 2-hour phone call between Presidents Trump and Putin was declared a success by both sides, but no meaningful progress was made. Putin openly dismissed any near-term ceasefire. Trump's call for direct talks between Ukraine and Russia ignores the reality that such talks have been ongoing in various forms for over a decade. Worse, Putin's use of the word memorandum to describe potential new agreements is a calculated provocation. It recalls the 1994 Budapest Memorandum, in which Russia guaranteed Ukraine's security in exchange for its nuclear disarmament, an agreement Moscow has blatantly violated. Putin also hinted that any ceasefire would be temporary and conditional. This reveals a crucial truth. Russia's war machine has become so entrenched that peace would be politically and economically disruptive. With hundreds of thousands of troops mobilized, an entire economy geared for war, and propaganda saturating every level of Russian society, a sudden end to the conflict is now almost unthinkable from the Kremlin's perspective. The only realistic path to peace is a clear Russian defeat. History shows that Russian military failures often trigger domestic reform. As after the Crimean War, the Russo-Japanese War, and the Soviet withdrawal from Afghanistan. Negotiations and concessions will not end Russian imperialism, defeat and accountability will. Only when the Russian public understands that war leads to failure and punishment will the cycle of aggression finally break.